Hi there, and welcome to Africa Beyond Borders. I'm your host, Soraya Mentor. We get to chat to amazing Africans who've traveled beyond their home countries. It is all about how we carry culture everywhere we go. Today's guest is someone very special to me. It's Nikki Rayepen Maghsoudlou. Hello, Nikki.
Hello, Soraya.
How are
Hello,
you
everyone.
doing?
Oh, I am fabulous. I'm so happy to see you and to be on your awesome show. It's just such a privilege to be here. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing lovely. I'm doing so good talking to you. You look amazing. You look
Thank you.
like
You look
Miss
amazing.
Universe or something. Like I'm just like I'm talking to Nikki, the
Oh
Nikki.
my word, Soraya. You're always there. So good to make me feel good. You are so good at that. I love
Oh,
you.
thank you so much. I'm so excited to get into your journey because until now I didn't know that you've traveled to over I can't even count how many countries it is, but it's India, it's Oman, it's France, Germany.
Oh,
I'm so excited to get into each of these. I don't even know where to start, but I know that you've recently been to Oman, and that's the first thing I want to dive into right now. When did you
oh,
go and what?
mm,
Aren't you just like,
oh,
what?
that was so special. It was just so special. And it wasn't for work and it wasn't for any career aspirations. It was just for family, the thing that we're all rooted in that forms all of our identity. So it was really so beautiful. And my sister lives and works there and has for a number of years now. And yes, we went there, and the special occasion was my nephew's first Holy Communion. And as the good Catholics that we are, we of course had to go there and witness this very special moment of my nephew, who is also my godson. Yeah, and we were there for that, but of course got to do some touristy things and just have a break from reality. So it was a very, very special moment because it was my first time visiting my sister in the place that she's been living and working in for, gosh, she's been there for almost 4 or 5 years now. And yeah, so it was important. And I got to go with my mom as well. So we got to share the journey, and it was a really beautiful moment with my busy life. Oh, Oman is absolutely gorgeous, though. Oh, Soraya, if you can go, go.
I want to tap more into it, but I just jumped the gun. I want to push it back a bit and firstly just chat about where you're from. I know you're from South Africa, but could you just share a bit about your background?
Oh, sure. Thank you so much. I was born and bred in a lovely city called Port Elizabeth, which is got a rich history within the South African landscape, both picture in a picturesque way, but also in a historical way. So it's located in the Eastern Cape, which is along the Garden Route that takes you up to Cape Town. So if you're coming from Johannesburg, which is in the north, very close to Namibia, of course where you're based, you come all the way down from Johannesburg, and we're kind of the bottom corner, the bottom part of the coastline, and then you go up, and that takes you to the Western Cape and to the Table Mountain up there. So you'll find Port Elizabeth along that route. It's been renamed a few years ago to Gqeberha, and it is actually a Khoi or Kwekwe name, which is synonymous with the area because the first peoples of the country, the Khoisan, um, were their main location was here. So the name of the city that it's been renamed to, Gqeberha, is got a link to the Khoisan heritage of the country, and they were known to be located in this part of the country as well. So I think they tried to pay homage to that. But back to me. I was born and bred here, grew up here, did my schooling here, and an important part of that was that I did dance as a subject at my high school, St. Thomas, and that was the only high school in the city where you could actually have dance as a sixth subject for my matric year. So that was really important to me, the fact that I could have dance built into my schooling, my daily life. So I was dancing every single day. But from primary school, um, we had dance and we'd have our dance classes twice a week. But at high school, it was almost every day, and this really kept us busy. And in addition to the dance side of things, I was also a gymnast growing up. My sister and I were gymnasts, so we were very privileged in order to be exposed to those types of fitness, and they really worked very well. Although some dance teachers didn't really want us to do the gymnastics because of the arched back, the straight back. But anyway, there's pros and cons, and we took mostly the benefits thereof. And then after high schooling, I took a gap year because I didn't have access to the career path and a tertiary level here in then Port Elizabeth. And then I took that gap year, ended up doing a French course, and doing a part-time job. And then that took me to Cape Town thereafter, where I did some auditions and I got accepted to the Waterfront Theatre School. And there I did a 4-year qualification where I acquired my performer certificate in speech and drama through the Trinity College of London, and then also my 2 teaching qualifications in dance, namely ballet and modern dance as well. I also did advanced tap, which you are then qualified to teach when you get 2 associates. Um, and and yes, we also had to do TV presentation, mime, musical theatre. We did so many productions. So many. I got exposed to the corporate world very, very early on in my college career as well. We did road shows, danced for the Stormers, number of things. But yes, that was the journey. But then I got into my first job on the professional scene, which is a ballerina in Phantom of the Opera, and yes, that's kind of where the professional performing career started. Yeah.
Oh, that is just amazing to hear. I love how you and your sister have this connection. Like you guys both grew up in this artistic world, and it's amazing to see what you're doing with your academy and as well as a business owner. It's absolutely lovely. But getting
Thank
into it, I do know that you recently went to Oman, and it's very special because I do know that this was the time you got to reconnect with your sister, and it's the most
you.
recent traveling journey that you had. So when did
Yes,
all of this happen, and how did you guys decide? Okay, we're gonna go visit. This is how long we're gonna stay. How was that process?
that process was informed really by the date of his first Holy Communion. And, when a deadline is put in place of, oh, okay, well, this is the date. And if you miss this date, then you're going to miss the
Yeah.
milestone moment. And the date of his first Holy Communion was the 2nd of May. And then my mom and I booked our tickets for the 29th of April. So, yes, and we got to spend some time thereafter. So we were there I was there from the 29th of April till about the 12th of May, so just 2 weeks. And then my mom stayed on, and I came back and resumed the normal life. Yeah.
Yes, see, like in fact, going for so long, such a long time, what was one of the things that you were just like, okay, this is completely very different to Port Elizabeth?
Um, your the safety aspect of just it's a very peaceful country, and there's a certain accountability that the nation places on its citizens. Um, and you can just see that in the pride that people take in their space from not even a single item of litter on the streets.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so from that point of view, and there's just a real sense of pride in the nation. And also, Oman is known as a peaceful country. And recently in politics, they've left it. They've recently in politics, Oman has also been a middle meeting in the middle point of nations, and it's been a mediator. So so that really struck me, the fact that it's got this energy of peace. Yeah.
It's just very beautiful, very amazing to hear that as well. The fact that you went with family as well. I just wanted to find out, going there upon just you were mentioning like the safety of the country. What was it like booking accommodation as well, moving as a tourist? How did you navigate going to some of the sites that you saw as well there?
Oh, well, that's the beauty of going to a country where your sister has a house and as a residence. You kind of skip that section. Although I did double check online in terms of hotels and Airbnbs and things like that. And there's just wonderful. we're living in a digital age, so everything's just so at your fingertips where you can just punch in your keywords and all of the options that you need to know, they come up regarding pricing. So it just seemed like everything was really accessible, like there were lots of options. And of course, a number of airlines that you can choose from going there as well. Um, yeah, so yeah, we live in the digital age, and that's really just shrunken the size of this world.
Ooh, I'm actually very curious to hear because you lived with your sister. Did you guys ever
Yes.
have like your South African traditional food when you guys were with
Oh,
her, or were you like
oh yes,
exploring different foods?
yes. I don't know. We took all of our spices up, and of
Yes.
course, my sister's pantry is loaded with the traditional home spices as well, because I just think that to keep them feeling like home is with them, they'll always have the food. Food is the one thing that
Yes.
you can makes you feel like you're at a home, even if you're not at home. So definitely firm favorites like when I was there as well, we made fricadelles, which is a very South
Fricadelles.
African take on the meatball, or in Persian tradition as well. They've also got like a minced meat. I refer to that because my husband, of course, is Persian. So sometimes I make that type of food as well. Yeah. But back to the food there. Yes, we did that. We did curries. I know curry is supposed to be Indian, but if you're a colored South African, then you do curry.
It's a staple.
You eat curry, and you know, a marker of your, a domestication is if you can make a good pot of curry. You know? Yes, so that's important. So
That's
yes, we did a
lovely
lot
to
of cooking.
hear.
Yes, and I love cooking. I love food. Yep. So,
Oh, and I'm sure she enjoyed just like that touch of home coming from you guys specifically.
oh, so much, so much. Yes, definitely.
I wanted to ask, because you did mention that you're Catholic. Did you see a
Hmm.
difference, a slight difference maybe in the way the Catholicism? I'm not sure if that's the way to
Catholicism. Yes,
say it, but was there a
yes,
difference in the way that
Catholicism.
the religion was conducted, especially attending a communion or like a first Holy Communion?
First of the communion. Yes, it was
Yes.
beautiful to see in a look there. It's an Arab country as well. So, of course, just being a visitor to the country, number one, you also observe certain things like making sure that your arms are covered um, in certain spaces, especially. But in the Catholic space, you dress quite modernly, but of course, still observing, being covered in stuff and not being overly exposed. But there was just a little bit more. Um, I don't know how to put it. I think people observe the religion a little bit more seriously or a little bit more sternly. But I think it's interesting to see the Catholic religion exist alongside the Arab and the Muslim traditions as well and
Oh,
religion.
wow.
Um, in that space of great respect for both, and they cohabitate very well. Um, they take it very seriously. Not to say that we don't, or in our spaces that we don't, but there was just a high regard for their faith and the way they conducted it. But it was quite something to see. Nearly, I think it was a big number. I mean, just under 100 little ones receiving the sacrament of their first Holy Communion. So that was really amazing to see. So this vast number of kids on the I wouldn't say stage, of course, in the church, receiving their sacrament of Holy Communion. Yeah. So it was really beautiful to observe that from a cultural point of view.
Oh, that is just fantastic to hear because I also come from a Catholic background and I'm just so intrigued. For now, we're going to take a quick break, Nikki, and we'll be right back, viewers, for more Africa Beyond Borders. Hi there, and welcome back to Africa Beyond Borders. I'm your host, Soraya Mentor. We get to chat to amazing Africans who've traveled beyond their home countries. Today's guest is Nicki Rayepen, who's here to share her adventures from South Africa to the world. Getting back into it, we were just chatting about the cultural differences that she observed in Oman. Just diving deeper into that right now. Nikki, what was one of the biggest things or lessons that you learned in your journey going to Oman that you brought back to South Africa?
That's a tough one. I think the purpose of the journey is what stuck with me.
Wow.
And yes, I think that's what stuck with me. The fact that just taking a moment to take a break. So taking pause, pressing pause, um, granting yourself permission to relax, and granting yourself
Mm.
permission to take a break and to switch off from the hustle and bustle of your ordinary life. The fact that it's okay, and the most of the pressure that comes from this life is the pressure that we put on ourselves, and it's kind of self-inflicted, and that we need to allow ourselves to just be sometimes, and that in itself is it's a therapy. So that's really was my biggest takeaway, and I think even the Omanis know also how to relax. So I think that kind of also just um, complemented the purpose of why I needed to go, even though it was also for a very special occasion. On a personal note, that was what the journey. That's the purpose the journey served.
That
Yeah.
was just beautifully said because you also said the country is just such a peaceful presence. It's,
Hmm.
it's, 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 you feel it in the atmosphere itself. So I'm just happy you
Yes.
got to experience that.
Thank you. Thank
On the
you.
little more chaotic side, I know you had a few
Yes.
youth exchange programs in Germany. You've also been
Yes.
to India. Let's dive
Yes.
into a bit of the work life
Yes.
beyond your home, actually. Which
Yes.
country can we start with, actually?
Oh, well, when you mentioned the youth exchanges, the German experiences were really beautiful.
Ooh,
And that was really, it was a real big privilege to be able to be part of those because we were a group of facilitators. Initially, we went over to do a little bit of a survey and an assessment of what the infrastructure was like and where things would take place. Um, and that was really amazing. I was accompanied by um, the local organizing committee, which was Fiona Goliath, Professor Fiona Goliath from Nelson Mandela University, Thabiso Zweni, who is an incredible actor from the city as well, and also Gerhard Luck, who is the owner of SADRAT, South African Development and Research Institute in Africa. And this opportunity was afforded to me by virtue of me being part of the Nelson Mandela University's Arts, Culture and Heritage Department, where I was a coordinator for a good number of years. And under its then leader, Mr. Michael Barry, who's now Dr. Michael Barry. Um, you know, I was afforded many opportunities in there. So it was wonderful that my dance history and background stood me in good stead by granting me access to other opportunities that came. So I'm very grateful to the university and the doors it's opened for me by virtue of having been based there for the number of years that I was. So that
wow.
was the theme of both, yes. And then that was the first year that the South African group went over. Then the second year, the German group came over and we did the exact same thing in South Africa, but with the same people. So,
Oh, that is
those
so
bonds and
cool.
relationships created in the first exchange, people were so excited to see each other the second time. And it's like,
The
just
cultural exchange is mind blowing.
amazing, a really stunning thing. And I had the privilege of doing that with two different groups. So over a 4 year, almost 5 year period, because the second time the exchange with them coming back, the Germans couldn't come to us. So we had to do that online. The second,
Oh,
the
wow,
second part of the second
interesting.
in COVID. That was very interesting, but we made it work. We had to finish it, so we did what
Yes.
we needed to do. Yeah.
I'm very interested to tap into your internal journey, especially
Mm.
maybe going your first time to Germany and just being
Yes.
exposed as an artist or as a performer,
Mm.
rather, to a completely
Yes.
new art space. How did you evolve as an artist from that experience alone in Germany?
Well, I think that exposed me to different ways of working and different levels of working where you're not constantly working with a trained body, and the fact that there's different ways of creating art with different types of bodies from an age point of view and from a ability point of view, as you know, we say in rigorous dance and physical training, we call it your facility. So it's not only your facility, but so people that don't necessarily have the rhythmical aptitude or training or the flexibility or the strength to be able to hold certain positions or understanding of movement phrases, but working with people's capabilities as they are and realizing that dance can be made from any standpoint, and it doesn't always have to be this regimented physical, uh, expression
Yes.
of perfection that we kind of brought up with in the dance world, but that it can be beautiful for everybody, and that art and dance is for everyone because of
Beautifully said.
yeah, it's about expression at the end of the day, and that's where the real joy and the satisfaction comes from, and it's for everyone.
As someone who comes from a colored background in South Africa and
Yeah.
your adventures around the world, was there anything that you as a South African was able to teach someone from another country, like a fun memory that you have?
I think the colored community, first of all, we kind of like are in the in-betweeners in a way. And sometimes from my appearance, people can't make out where I'm from. And I think that's also a funny thing as well. I mean, I've gotten like, are you Indian? Are you Spanish?
Oh,
And
okay.
especially, yeah, when you're
Spanish.
overseas, yes, when you're overseas as well, people can't particularly place you. So that's also a very interesting thing as well. And then they're like, what? Colored? And they're like, oh, isn't that a derogatory term? And, there is still debate about this term as well. Um, but it is what it is, It's like, and I think most people have just come to know because also attached to colored is a certain set of references that's inescapable if you've grown up
Yes.
in the colored community, especially I think during the more stratified section of our history as a country and maybe apartheid. So if you come through that, so I was born during apartheid, I saw the eradication of apartheid, and now in my adult life, of course, we're living in a non-apartheid era. So it's a very interesting space to be in, but I've come to embrace it because I don't think that it's a very unique space and understanding that you have, um, yeah, with that identity. So I take it with both hands, and it is who I am,
Wow.
and I'm proud of it.
That's very beautiful to hear. I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take it in as it is. I
Mhm.
am who I am. It just boosts my
Yes.
confidence saying that alone.
Mhm.
Just in closing, do you have any advice for any new travelers as well who also hope to either pursue a career in arts or just want to travel for relaxing that you'd want to give them an advice for?
My advice is to do it, is to just do it, especially if you've not traveled ever. You have to do it at
Just
least
do it.
once. So if you can, of course, have trips paid for, wonderful. But if not, um, don't just go, oh no, it's too much. The value of getting out of the country and seeing another place is something that you can't actually attach a monetary value to. So if you need to save for it, if you start with somewhere close, and then think, okay, fine, I'm going to have a goalpost of I'm going to have a 2 year saving plan, and I'm going to go, do the wherever, the Euro or the American or whatever experience. But my advice is to do it. Is just to at least do it once if you can in your life.
Nikki Ray, you are doing it right now. You are inspiring me to travel even
Yeah.
more.
Right?
It was
Yeah.
amazing hearing your experiences. Thank you so much for
Thank,
your time today.
thank you so much. And I didn't even speak about everything.
We
I
have
also had
so
the
much.
yes. It was also my time in London. I stayed there for 2 years. There was a time in India I spent as well. Visits to France, visits to Spain.
Ah,
Yeah, so the world is out there for encountering. So if you can get out there, do so.
I think that's a great advice for our viewers. Just do it. And you can sit down on a couch and chat with us on how you also traveled like Nikki to so many countries, which is still, my mind cannot fathom how much experience this is.
Oh, such a privilege, such a privilege. It's been
Really,
such a
really is.
privilege talking to you this morning, and oh, I'm so, so happy for this time that we got to spend together, Soraya. You are
Thank you
just doing
so
the
much.
things.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on this incredible platform that you are creating and have created, and I just wish you all of the very best. I wish you every success. And yeah, yeah.
It's amazing to have your voice as well here, just to share with Namibians as well, just your journey. It's really amazing to hear. And with Africans, it's
Yes,
amazing. Thank you for your
thank
time
you.
so much, Nikki. To all our viewers, thank you for joining us on this episode of Africa Beyond Borders. You can catch us every Monday at 8:30 p.m. on DSTV channel 285, GoTV channel 25, and OneUp2.com. Thank you for joining us. See you guys then.